Hello everyone, I am Neha Kazi from Leelavati Lalji Dayal High School and College of Commerce. In our history class today, we're going to talk about chapter number 5, Mass Media and History. So let us quickly start with the summary of this chapter. So first, we will be talking about what mass media is. So mass means the aggregation of people and media means the modes of communication. Okay, the various mediums that we use to communicate. So means of communication in the earlier times were like when the kings had to send orders or if they had to pass on a message to the people. So there would be a crier who would run in the streets beating drums and conveying the news. Okay, so back during the time of the king, when he had to give out some orders, there used to be street criers. Okay, so these criers would run around the city in all the streets beating drums and conveying the message. All right, then the news would spread among the people by word of mouth. So I heard the crier saying something, I went and I said it to my friends, to the family. Okay, so that's how with the help of word of mouth it used to pass. Okay, this is how they used to mass communicate in the previous olden or ancient time. Then about the British period. So people started receiving printed news through newspapers after the arrival of the British. Okay, so newspapers became a medium of circulating news, information and knowledge. All right, so that's how it used to work. So let's talk about the history of mass media. In this first, we'll talk about the newspaper. So newspaper is a publication which mainly has a lot of printed news, editorials, people's opinion, and other content. Of course, there's entertainment, sports, and various other things also which we get in the newspaper now. So it is distributed regularly at a definite time. So morning newspapers, you get it in the morning, afternoon and evening newspapers are also there, which you get it in that specific time. So newspaper, of course, will give you local, national and international news. Okay, they are also called as the fourth pillar of democracy. All right, and there are historical documents also which are recorded in terms of the current events. All right, so in recent times many newspapers have introduced e-newspapers as well, and specifically now in the COVID situation, when the newspaper printing was stopped, we used to get e-newspapers. Now everything is electronic, so all the news and everything is also available on the internet. All right, so let's proceed now and see what next do we have. So now the forerunners of, we'll discuss the forerunners of modern newspapers. All right. So there were different means through which people used to get the messages of the king. Okay. So in Egypt and Emperor Ashoka, how they used to do is, so the custom of placing inscriptions were used. Okay. So with the royal decrees used to place inscriptions at public place. All right, then in the Roman Empire the decrees were written on papers with various information and they were distributed in various regions. All right, then Julius Caesar, here this newspaper named Acta Diurnas used to be placed at public places in Rome to convey the royal commands. Then in the 7th century CE, China royal dictates were distributed among people at public places. Then in England, handouts were distributed giving information about important events or any war. Okay, so the ambassadors of a king posted at various places would send back important news to the royal court then. All right, so this is how various kings used to convey the orders to the people. All right. Then talking about Bengal Gazette, it's a newspaper. So the first English newspaper was started in Calcutta on 29th January 1780. So it was started by an Irish James Augustus Hickey. Now this comes in, your match the following or your fill-ups, where you have to match the newspaper along with the name of the founder. So it was called Calcutta General Advertisers or Bengal Gazette. Then we have Darpan. So Darpan, the editor of Darpan was Bal Shastri Jambekar. Now students, like I said, since this comes in your match the columns or your fill-ups. So you need to remember the name of the newspaper and the editor or who started it. So here for Darpan, you have to remember that it was edited by Bal Shastri Jambekar. Okay, and it's the first newspaper in Marathi. It was started on 6th January 1832 in Mumbai, and hence the day is celebrated as Patrakar Din, which means Journalist Day, 6th January. All right. So the political, economic, and social cultural events of that time were recorded in Darpan. All right. Then comes in Prabhakar. So we get to read it through the history of French Revolution. So the letters of Lokit Wadi, that is Gopal Hari Deshmukh, were published in Prabhakar, and it aimed at creating social awareness. All right, so this was just a gist about what these newspapers are all about, okay? And let's continue with Dhyanodaya. So printed maps of Asia were given in 1842 and Europe in 1851. Then illustrations were printed in this for the first time. So installation of telegraph was reported in this newspaper, okay? So printed Chakya Masoba, that is the news about beginning of railway services in India, was also printed in Dhyanodaya. Okay, and it also printed the news of the Indian War of Independence of 1857. So the first major revolt against the Britishers happened in 1857, and that was covered in Dhyanodaya. All right. Then we have Indu Prakash. So Indu Prakash works for the social awakening. Social messages were sent out. All right. And it supported the cause of widow remarriage. All right. So that's about Dhyanodaya and Indu Prakash. Let's talk about Deen Bandhu now. So Deen Bandhu was edited by Krishna Rao Bhalekar. He was a close associate of Mahatma Phule. Okay, so Deen Bandhu was actually the mouthpiece of Bahujan Samaj, which means whatever was going on in terms of Bahujan Samaj, whatever need to be said it to the people of Bahujan Samaj was given out with the help of Deen Bandhu. Okay, so the condition of Bahujan Samaj in those times was printed in Deen Bandhu. Okay, then comes in Kesari and Maratha. So Kesari and Maratha was edited and started by Gopal Ganesh Agarkar and Lokmanya Tilak. So this is what we have to keep in mind. So it published articles about prevalent social and political problems. It described the condition in the country which led to the social awakening, which means people after they read Kesari and Maratha got to know what was the social condition of the people, okay, and that is how it led to the social awakening, because it used to talk about the social and political problems of the country. All right, it also propagated various texts and books in English languages, okay, and in the Indian languages. All right, so they created awareness among the people about political system in foreign countries, so how it was in some other country and what is going on in India. So that is what they used to write about. Okay, it created discontent among the masses against the British rule. Why? Because they were covering and writing about what was the situation, what was the condition in India, how were the Britishers treating them, and about all the other possible things. And this led to discontent among people, and they were protesting against the British rule, because Kesari and Maratha used to report it in that manner. All right. So that's about Deen Bandhu, Kesari, and Maratha. These are all newspapers. Okay. Then coming to magazines and journals, that is periodicals. So let us see what a magazine is. It is something which is published at regular intervals, and it's called as a periodical. So magazines and journals are two types of periodicals, okay? So they are categorized as weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, bi-monthly, quarterly, sixth monthly, and annually, etc. So depending, there will be journals, there will be magazines which can come out either weekly, monthly, however, like there are so many options you can see on your screen, depending on the duration at which they are published, how they want to go ahead with the publishing. Okay, so there may be some chronicles which are published at no fixed time. All right, so it's not necessary that if it is weekly, so it is just coming out weekly. There are also chances that in 1 week you will get 2 magazines then, which means such publications have no fixed time. Okay, and then let's talk about early magazines here. So Bal Shastri Jambekar had started the first monthly magazine in Marathi known as Digdarshan. Okay, so Digdarshan is a Marathi magazine and it was started by Bal Shastri Jambekar. So Pragati, now a defunct journal, was started in 1929 and it was edited by Triambak Shankar Shezwalkar. Okay, so Pragati was started in 1929 and it was edited by Triambak Shankar Shezwalkar. This is what you'll have to keep in mind. Okay, then Marathi journals like Bhartiya Itihas, Ani Sanskruti, and Marathwada Itihas Parishad Patrika are periodicals devoted to Indian history in the present time. So these two names is what you have to keep in mind. All right. Let's proceed and talk about electronic or digital journalism. So nowadays everything is going digital, everything is electronic. So journalism has also been a part of it. Okay, so we have digital journalism or web journalism, which is practiced using the modern technology. So computers are used, internet is used, and like I said, during the COVID time, like in the pandemic, during the lockdown, we used to get e-newspapers, and even now there are so many newspapers which have their own application, right? So you can just download that and read news, correct? So this is what digital journalism. So there are web news portals, social media, web channels, YouTube. All these provide historical content for the readers, so you can actually go back and search about these things and you will get it. Okay, so that's about a new age journalism, that's electronic or digital journalism. Then we have radio, okay, which was Akashwani. So let's talk about All India Radio, that's AIR, means All India Radio. So a private radio company, that is Indian, see here, Indian Broadcasting Company, that's IBC. This broadcasted daily programs and it was later on occupied by the British government. And so later it was changed and it was named as Indian State Broadcasting Service, ISBS. Okay. On 8th June 1936, it was named as All India Radio. That means AIR, AIR. So All India Radio came under Information and Broadcasting Ministry of the Indian government after independence. So a famous poet, Pandit Narendra Sharma, suggested the name Akashwani. Okay, so this is what you have to keep in mind. These are certain pointers related to air that you have to keep in mind. Okay, let's move ahead and talk about the format of Akashwani's programs. So what kind of programs did they broadcast? So initially it gave out information about government programs and projects. Later on they also gave out entertainment, social awareness, and even literacy content was broadcasted. Then they made special programs for women, laborers, youngsters, and farmers. All right. So programs in Akashwani were broadcasted in 24 languages and 146 dialects from Vivid Bharati. And recently, private radio stations like Radio Mirchi and many other FM stations are providing radio services. But earlier, we only had one, that is Air, and which is Akashwani. Okay. Now talking about television, okay, we'll talk about Doordarshan here. So the first president of India, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, he inaugurated the Delhi Doordarshan Center. Mumbai Doordarshan was later started in October 1972. So color television started on 15th August 1982 and private channels started their telecast in 1991 after liberalization, privatization and globalization. Okay, so that was a quick gist about the television history. Let's talk about why do we need mass media. So these are the points and let's go through these pointers now. So the first point here is to facilitate free flow of information to all strata of the society, to avail a platform to readers to express their views and opinions, to make democracy stronger. As television shows visuals and images, it overcomes the limitations of newspaper to create social awareness and educate the masses. So these are the reasons why we need mass media, because with the help of this, we get all the news information, we get to know what is happening in the country. We can, with the help of television, we can actually see what's going on, correct? Live coverage is done. So that is how it overcomes the limitations of the newspaper. Something that's happening today will come tomorrow in the newspaper, but through television we can see it immediately. Plus it is making the democracy stronger because people can participate, as they'll get to know what's happening in the country. Okay, the views and opinions are shared with the help of mass media, right? We can educate people, we can bring about social awareness with the help of mass media. All right, so these are the reasons why we need it. Okay, now we have to critically understand the information which we receive through mass media. All right, very critically, because not everything that we see or hear should be the truth. Correct? So the newspaper or information which is printed in the newspaper or shown on the television may not represent the exact truth. That's what I told you. Correct? So handwritten, now here an example they have given us is handwritten diaries of Adolf Hitler were published by a magazine in Hamburg, city of Germany. And later on, what happened? They came to know that these letters, these diaries, in which whatever was written, it was forged. Okay, so it was not the actual truth which was given. See, students, understand mass media actually has the capacity, they have the ability to mold the opinion of the masses. So we as people should be vigilant about what they are showing to us. All right, and here is a very good example to prove that not everything that we see or read is the exact truth. Okay, so that's about the critical understanding of the information we receive through mass media. All right, let's proceed ahead and talk about the professional opportunities that are there in mass media, since we're talking about applied history. Okay, so in newspaper, you can be an editor, a reporter, you can be a printing work, you can be doing that, writer, technician, computer operator, or even office staff. For Akashwani, which means radio, you can be an office staff, center head, interviewer, news editor, technician, okay, manager, etc. There are many such opportunities which are there. Then Doordarshan, of course, a journalist, news editor, cameraman, art director, lightman, technical director, interviewer, artist, anchor, makeup man, etc. There are so many professional opportunities that are there in terms of mass media. Okay, let's proceed and talk about history applied in mass media. So newspapers, we get to know about the background events that had happened with the help of newspapers. And then when you are reporting any news in detail, you can compare it with something similar that has happened in the past to get better understanding of that event. Okay, then to print the columns about historical information, right? Let's say something has completed 50 years or 100 years, or something happened 50 years ago, 100 years ago, you can of course print it again, historical information, right? Then in order to review the economical, social and political events that had happened in the past, so we can compare it, what happened in the past and what's happening right now. Okay, then writing about columns to commemorate the 100th year of an event having historical significance. So this is how we can apply history in mass media. Okay, let's talk about Akashwani. So, while they are giving programs, they can celebrate Independence Day, Republic Day, and give the speeches. They can again broadcast the speeches which were given by previous prime ministers and presidents. Okay, So knowledge of history is required to plan specific programs. Okay. So on occasions of any birth anniversary, death anniversary of any national leader, special programs are made, special programs are presented, and here also they'll need the help of history, correct? Because they have to give out important and correct information. Then comes in television, of course, here if they are, producing any historical or mythological serials, then of course they have to maintain accuracy, correct, with what is the environment, what were their outfits, what was their lifestyle, how do they communicate. All these things are very important. Okay, so if they want to create a program based on history, they'll have to understand all these features of history, right? Then they should have a deep understanding of that specific period. Okay, and in order to present programs on the life of players, soldiers, historic men and women, achievers, or any force, any heritage, they need to know the exact thing that had happened, and that is why having knowledge of history is necessary. All right, so that's all, students, in the synopsis of this chapter. I hope you all have understood this. Thank you so much.